Howdy everyone, call me Chaos or Blue, and today I'm going to be rambling about dumb shit nobody cares about, but I'll be doing it anyway because I can. Also, before we start real quick, don't harass anyone that does like these games. I'm just stating my opinion and what happens. So, yeah. Also, check out this person here. They're cool. Anyway. So we all know the visual novel games, right? The lovey-dovey ones, the beautifully put together step-by-step ones, the horror ones, the smegzual ones. You get my point, there's a lot. So I'll be going over different points of what happens, and yeah. First up, we have John Doe. John Doe is a visual novel game that falls under the surreal horror genre. One of the first things I'll be starting off with is John Doe cannot feel pain. Like, any type of pain that is physical, he cannot feel it. He has no pain receptors. So, you know, no pain. But also I know what someone might be saying. The chaos! John Doe stabs the player in one of the routes. And, well, yeah, he does, but he can't feel pain. Like, he doesn't understand why physically hurting someone would hurt them. So, kind of hard to grasp, I suppose, if you've done something that you can't physically feel, and then get confused when someone else can. It can be very counterproductive sometimes. And if you've played the game, you will see that as the game progresses, everything starts to become unstable and unnatural. And you also discover that John Doe himself isn't quite what he seems. He is, in fact, a very self-aware AI. He expresses as much in the game the further you continue. And I imagine this continues with different routes you play as well. And I also imagine he doesn't really like that. So, you know, AI gone haywire and a bit obsessed with the player. We love the funky guy though, so he gets a pass, I guess. Next up, Sunny Day Jack. Also, okay. Sunny Day Jack falls under the erotic horror genre of visual novels. And before I continue anymore with this, I understand why some people might not like it. It is very colorful, especially Jack himself. Very colorful. Despite, like, the nature of it, I understand why some people wouldn't like it. Anyway. Sunny Jack is a type of poltergeist of sorts. You as the player can interact with him. However, nobody else can because, well, they can't see him. And how the player and Sunny Day Jack meet is via a cursed videotape of sorts that the player finds at a garage sale. Oh god. I've never done one of these before, can you tell? Anyway, in the game when the main character first meets Jack, the player, while being kind of neutral, is also kind of down, because, if you see this guy that just sort of appears just out of a videotape that you found, you start kind of questioning if you've gone a little bit crazy. And Jack, being the good guy he is, being happy and cheery, he'll do whatever he can to make the player happy. As you start the game, like, I want to say maybe a little bit into it, the MC sort of will state that to a degree, or imply that to a degree they're, like, alone. So, there's that. and Jack, upon meeting them with the promise that, as their friend, he won't leave them. Now, some things start to happen, however, as the story continues. Jack will become more possessive, like clingy, and depending on which dialogue you choose, it'll be rather different as well, especially with one certain part, which I won't say because spoilers. But again, depending on which one it is, stuff happens. Sunny Day Jack will gradually become more possessive as, this story goes on, and someone is even physically harmed as, a result of this. Also, like I've said, this is, an erotic horror visual novel, so a few other things happen that I can't say, because I don't know what age range is watching this, and I'd preferably not traumatize anyone. So, Also, because there's one scene in particular that is illustrated, or, two scenes that are rather intense, and I only recommend playing the demo, because I believe it's only the demo that's out right now. I only recommend downloading it to play it for yourself if you are over 18, because it can get rather graphic, and preferably no minors involved. Okay, third on the list. Oh, goddammit. Blech, sorry about that. Anyway, third game. Your Boyfriend. I don't think I need to introduce this game. I don't think I need to introduce the golf ball man. However, because I'm doing this, I will man up and do it. Oy. The Your Boyfriend game also falls under the erotic horror novel genre. It's about a man named Peter, who, upon meeting the player, quickly becomes rather obsessed, and will go to great and unspeakable lengths just to get their attention, such as killing their coworker, killing their roommates, killing their landlord, anyone he sees as a threat. Nope. Dead you go. No. Ugh. Also, I unfortunately have to admit that at one point, back in 2020, when I was a minor, I was 17, I was in this fandom, and if anyone recognizes this image at all right here, yeah, that was me. If you know, then you know. I'm not proud of it. I'm really not proud of it. And I don't think minors should be involved in this fandom, at all, because genuinely horrific things have happened. And that's all I'm gonna say on that. Depending on which dialogue you choose as the player, Peter will either become increasingly aggressive, obsessed, or a mix of both. And as far as I'm aware, I believe it's 4 days that are out right now for the game. I don't know. The only knowledge I have is on day one, because that's the only part I'm aware of, because I was dumb enough to play it myself. But I also wish to not play any more of it because of the creator and the people associated with them, and I just know. If, however, you don't know what's happened, or are curious, then I recommend watching the videos made by Queen Seraphina and Bored Oranges, because they both cover this, and, at least I believe Bored Oranges also covered it as well, but Queen Seraphina has covered this in great detail, and I just recommend looking at that better. Anyway, next part. The coffin of Andy and Laylee Graves. Right off the bat, I don't agree with this one at all. While it's not technically a visual novel game, I still decided to put it on the list, so shush. The Coffin of Andy and Laylee falls into the psychological horror genre of games. Two siblings named Andrew and Ashley Graves decide that they want to practice cannibalism after watching a failed ritual. Or at least that's what the description says, because in this fucking game, The Coffin of Andy and Laylee, it involves and encourages dangerous behavior such as emotional manipulation, manipulation in general, incest, and some levels of abusive relationships, or just abuse in general. Not good. Mrs. Graves, who's their mother, in the game also very much is against this idea and how touchy-touchy the siblings are. Which, you know, don't fuck your siblings. You fucking freak. And in one part of the game, their mother very much questions Andrew if he is going to continue this relationship with Ashley, and very bluntly stating that he has boinked her, and very reasonably disgusted, because why would you do that to your younger sister, you freak? But also, they're both adults. It's just, ugh. Ew. There's also, God forbid this, there's also a section in the game where you can clearly see that the siblings are in bed together, clearly naked, and dirty jokes are made between them. Now, in the previous games I've mentioned, like, they can be excused to some level of fiction, yes? This game, however, Andy and Laylee just, it doesn't portray it as unhealthy or bad. Instead, it sort of encourages it, almost in a way, and it's just nasty, and essentially normalizing the behavior between the siblings, and that's just not. Please report this type of behavior if you ever see it. It's wrong. Fucking Jesus Christ. Now, what's my stance on these games? In my opinion, John Doe is a gray area. It's established that John Doe is, like I said before, self-aware AI that will break the world around him just to be close to the player. It doesn't excuse what happens and what traumas inflict the player, but it explains why, in a sense. There's a difference between excusing and explaining. Sunny Day Jack is a gray area that's semi-leading into the red area. Jack will use emotional manipulation to get what he wants from the player to keep them close, while also using the promise to not leave them to do this also. So, you know, gray area, but leaning more into the red. Golf Ball Man should fucking burn. And lastly, in my opinion, the Coffin of Andy and Laylee is just red, straight up red. It's not the cannibalism that's the issue. It's the depiction of the incestuous relationship between the Grave siblings, the blatant portrayal of them being so close, the normalization of it, and the behaviors, the manipulation tactics. It's just not it. Very much bad. My script isn't long enough for this, I'm sorry. That's it, really. Can you tell I don't know what I'm doing? This is the first proper video, I guess. I'm just rambling like a fucking idiot here, and if you find this amusing, listening to my voice, doing dumb shit, or, well, saying dumb shit most likely, thanks. And if I did forget anything, or I just didn't mention something that you think is weird, or horrible, or funny, whatever, that happens in any of these games, do feel free to comment it. If you liked listening to me ramble like a complete moron, then, subscribe, I guess, or just like the video. I'm selling myself out here. I have nothing to offer other than my voice, talking, and drawings. Bye.